introduction. Basically, my name is Sunil Mohanty, that's my full name, and I have roughly, you can say, almost like 10 years of experience in the whole industry. And I have on Informatica MDM, I have almost like 7 years of experience, on IDQ almost 8 years, and on Power Center almost 4 or 5 years, and other technologies. I worked in both onshore, offshore, in different roles as an subject matter expert and on like senior developer, architect level. So I have wide experience on different implementations for different verticals and all that. Right, that's my introduction. Now, what we are interested in today's session is we are interested to understand the Informatica MDM. So we'll see the different things involved here, right? So what I'll do is, first of all, let's try to understand the MDM itself. That's the key thing, because there's no point in speaking much on anything else. Let's try to understand what exactly is MDM. Then we'll see a lot of other things. And if you have any doubts or anything, any concerns, a concern at any point of time, you can always stop me, and you can unmute yourself, your mic, and you can ask a question. You're always welcome to do that. Okay, right. So let's start. Okay, I'll open a slide because as usual, normally any training starts with this slide, so that's fine. Okay, so I'll go to the end and start from the end. Right, let's try to understand. Okay, this thing. So MDM, you know the full form of MDM. I will assume that you know the full form of MDM. You know, most probably. Master Data Management. And it can have two meanings. It's Master of Data Management or Management of Master Data. One second, I'm getting some complaint that you can't hear me. You can hear me, right? Can someone just send me a confirmation via chat or something? One second. Okay, fine. I got confirmation. That's fine. Okay, right. Let's continue. So it can have two meanings. It could either be Master of Data Management or Management of Master Data. Master of Data Management does not make sense because I'm not giving a management class here, so it doesn't make any sense. So this is actually Management of Master Data, right? And to manage something, you need to understand what you want to manage. So what is it exactly that you want to manage? And so let's try to understand what is master data. And to understand master data, first let's be clear on what is data. Data is information. Some people might agree, some people might not, but frankly speaking, that's it. Data is nothing but it's the information. Where do we get the information? It's generated. As the time goes by, something will happen, right? For example, I'm giving the training, someone notes down something, data is generated, information is generated. So naturally information is generated, and we do it in an organized manner and store that properly. That becomes the data. So if I am more specific on data, let's say data about companies, or let's say if I go and take an connection, an internet connection, then what information will be collected? What information would be collected? So it will be my name, my details, my phone number, gender, date of birth, and all those things, right? Just one second. Again, I'm getting issues on connection queries. Just one second. See, whenever if you're getting any issue, then most probably it's the either from my side problem or from your side. There are less chances that it's from my side, but it can happen, but at least not now because it seems fine. But if the problem is happening from your side, connection problem or something, then you go here to network and sharing center, then you you go to the change adapter settings. Then if you're using wired network, for example I am using wired or wireless, you just right click disable enable. You'll be dropped off for 1 minute or something like that. Then you'll again join, right? So this is the best thing. Otherwise you might need to rejoin, so that's not necessary. Okay, 1 second. All right, I think that's clear now, right? So now we have idea on what is data about products, data about customers, data about employees, data about everything. You take anything, we're talking about data, right? How do we store it? We can store it in databases, relational databases, or in files, XML files, network files, could be anything, right? Doesn't matters. But anyway, that's data. If that's data, then what is master data? That's the question. If that's data, why do I need to spend time, energy, money, and all those things in creating something that's called as master data? Let's try to understand what exactly is master data. To understand master data, I'll go through this example. After this example, you'll be completely clear on what exactly are we talking about here. So let's take the case study of a company called as, let's say Vodafone. I'll just make it 180. Right, I hope this would be clear. So let's say that there's a guy called as John K. Smith. That's his name, John K. Smith. He goes to the Vodafone store. You know Vodafone, it's a telecom provider, or you can say AT&T, Vodafone, anything. All right. Now, if like Vodafone company, they have prepaid service, they have postpaid service, they have internet service. So they are providing three different services: postpaid, prepaid, postpaid, internet. Okay. Now the prepaid, let's say if I go and take a prepaid connection, then my information will be stored in the prepaid database, and similarly I have postpaid and internet database to store different information, right? Simple logic. So as a result, what happened is, see, John K. Smith, that's his name. He has taken three services from Vodafone. As a result, you can see that his information is registered in prepaid database, postpaid database, internet database. Looks fine, but I have a problem here. The problem is with the name. So you can see here clearly that here it is John in prepaid database, here it is John Smith, here it is John K. Smith. Now that's the problem. I mean, it's the same person. That's John K. Smith, that's his name, but his details are different in different databases. So in prepaid database is different, postpaid database is different. So that's a headache, right? Now first let's try to understand, I mean, is this practical? I mean, am I taking this example just to explain Informatica MDM, or is it practical? So that's the first question, right? This scenario is completely practical, and you will see that this is called as a data quality issue, and data quality is the biggest headache of all the companies nowadays. And why does it happen? It happens because of many reasons, but out of which the main reason is the interface type in the sense data collection. How data is collected. Data can be collected via internet, right? Can be collected via phone, or data can also be collected via over the counter. So you just go to the counter and provide the details and all that. And even in these methods, in internet, you can send an email, they can send you an email, or You can fill a form or via Twitter, Facebook, anything. Data can be collected via anything. So the issues that will happen in this thing, internet, and the issues that will happen in phone, they will be different. They'll not be same. So if you face some issues here, you might not face it here. And you will see that here data is perfect because it's validated properly. Here it's called as lost in translation. So when you say John, 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 your name could be written down as Jon, John, possibly. So, and in internet, so here people intentionally do mistakes. For example, let's say, consider my example. When I try to register or something, then I will not prefer to give my, I will not give my phone number and all those details because probably I don't want someone to track me. So, and a lot of people think it in that way. So they intentionally give wrong information. So that's one reason. And second reason is change in technology. Change in technology. So you will see that if you go to a company called a Cisco, let's say, giant company, then you will see that there will be somewhere around 100 different IT teams, and you will find that some IT teams will be in mainframes, the transactional systems, mainframes, and a lot of IT teams will be in your node-based systems, then grid-based system, then your lot of thing new age will be in cloud, and then Hadoop, many different things. So issues that will happen here and issues that will happen here will be different. Now as a result of all these things, you will see that this thing is quite natural. So it happens. You provide something else is collected, or you provide wrong information. That could also be region. But anyway, so what I'm trying to justify is this scenario, it's completely natural, does happen. As a result, I have the same customer information looks different in different places. So it's the same customer but looks different, and you can see the addresses are also different, date of birth are not matching. So some fields are matching. You can see Smith matching, John matching. So something is matching, something is not matching, right? So that's about my data. Now what is master data? Master data is a process. Yeah, you have any doubts, you can unmute and you can ask, no problem. Okay, so if you need any clarification, that's fine. Right, now, yeah, you have any doubts, you can ask.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just had a quick question on the date of birth. Okay, that data actually, it's not a typo. Like, it's totally different when you see on the internet database. It's 11/12/1986, right?
All right. Yeah.
And then the prepaid database is like February 5, 1986.
Right.
So that's not a typo. It's totally different. So can you actually elaborate more?
Yeah, that's what possibly it could. That's what I said, right? It could be because of a issue from your side, or it could be the intentionally the customer could provide misleading information. So you understand, right? Sometimes in internet, when you are asked to fill a form, you don't fill it properly. You will give wrong address details, wrong contact details. So that happens. So that's not a typo, that's correct, because someone intentionally did it wrong. And I don't care if it's intentional, non-intentional. My objective is I would like to understand that if it's the same customer or not.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Okay, so I mean, my question is like, okay, when you're saying master data management, right? Which data? Okay, so intensely on the internet database. So you're saying maybe intensely put it 11/12/1986, right? So how do we actually like, you know, rely on which data, like on a prepaid database or like postpaid database or internet data? Which data is correct? How do we actually
Yeah,
rely?
that is called as trust framework, which I'll explain now. That is called as trust framework, which you will give scores. So you will give scores like, okay, this is 70 if it's coming from here, and it's 80 if it's coming from here, and it's 90 if it's coming from the internet database. So you would have done that. That's called as a survivorship mechanism or the trust mechanism in MDM, and based on the score, Informatica will decide that, yeah, so this date of birth will be the survivor. And you can also influence this decision based on the data. So you can also say something like, if the name is like null or less than 3 characters, then you reduce the trust to by 50 percentage. So this would become 45 now. So that's called as the trust mechanism, right? Yeah, Sneha.
Sunil,
Yeah,
like on which basis are you going to decide whether this, I mean, it's same customer, or I mean,
yeah,
who would
that's
set these rules?
right. That's called
Because
as the matching rule. So that's something that we are going to discuss now. Okay, right.
okay,
So
okay.
see, the first problem is I have the customer information that's spread in different silos or pipes, whatever you say. Now the main problem is identification. And first of all, why do I need to identify? What's the challenge? You will see there are many reasons, but the most important thing is it is very, very important for the company to have a view that, yeah, this customer has taken this services or something, or he's associated or he prefers this service, so that they can market things or they can retain his relationships. They can do anything because data is God. In the world of internet, data is God. So data is everything, anything, whatever you can say. So using data, you can be a multi-millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire company, right? So my main responsibility is to identify that these three things as the same, right? And how do I do it? Now that's what is configured in that's what this whole software does. Frankly speaking, the whole MDM software, what it does is it has logic to identify that uh, this three thing, it's the same, um, and once you identify, then you merge it to create a unique version of truth. Now, how do we identify that? That's called as the matching rules. And there are a lot of things like on how to create the matching rules and all that. But the logic is simple, that you would need to create match rules which would look something like this. So let's say this is called as a match rule. So you can see that there are almost like 10 match rules. So normally 10 is also, I mean 10 is normally it's fine. I mean that's the usual number. So you can see that this is a matching rule which specifies on a high level basis what you can say, that if the address part 1, part 2, generation, party type, person name, postal area, if that's matching, if that is matching for two guys or two people, then I would consider those two records as duplicates or same record, same instance of the customer. Now that's one rule. Similarly, I have 10 rules. So it's like you would have seen a coffee machine. So where you have 3-4 filters so that you don't get any dust in your coffee. So it's like the same thing. You catch it here, not working, catch it here, not working, catch it here, and dot, dot, dot. So that's what you are going to configure as an MDM developer. That's your responsibility to configure the match merge rules. But anyway, the logic is simple. See that you identify using matching that these three are same, and once you identify, you will create this record. Now that record is called as the master record, golden record, or normally we call it as master or golden record. Okay, and that's the objective, master data management. So this is normal data, this is normal data, this one, this one, this one, and this one is the master data, and the objective of this whole thing is to get this one. And as explained, that you will have scores, so something like you will use this scoring logic to identify the survivor. For example, let's say first name, you're getting first name from 1 2 3 4 4 source systems. All right, now which one will be the survivor? It will be admin. Why? Because it's 90, the score is higher, highest, you can say. That's called as a survivorship policy. And it's all about creating the master data, publishing it. That's the if I have to describe the whole MDM in just, let's say, a single one-liner, then I'll just say it's all about the main thing. This is the nothing but the main thing is nothing but the match and merge. Matches identification of duplicates, merges creation of the golden record.
A
Right.
quick question.
Yeah.
So you said the trust, right? You said something about the trust right now, system trust or something,
Right.
right? So how do you determine, like, what actually gives that score? Like you showed admin as a 90 score, right?
That
So
will be
what
done using data profiling. You have to profile the source systems to understand the trustworthiness of the data, plus you have to get the input from the business. So you need to understand from the business that you have two source systems, CCA, let's say, and you have MLO. So you would need to first of all profile it, understand that the data, how much percentage of data is valid, issues with the data, all that. Then you have to discuss with the business. They will tell you that, okay, so here the name is manually overridden by these guys, so it's not that trustworthy. But here the name comes from a trustworthy, generated in a trustworthy way, so this is more trustworthy. Then you list down all the things, and then the business analyst will, that's the job of the business analyst, and he will assign scores starting with a higher number to the lowest one.
Okay, so what you're saying is we don't actually, like the MDM, the tool itself does not actually determine the score, but the
No,
score is given.
how would a tool determine the score? It would be completely wrong if a tool determines, because tool has no idea on the business data. So the business has idea on the business data. You have 10 source systems. Informatica has no idea which is good, which is bad. So you are going to configure based on your need. Accordingly, Informatica will behave.
Okay.
Right. And as a result, we create something called as a trust sheet. So based on that, it happens. And trust sheet is something that, 1 minute, I'll just put it here. One minute. So something like this kind of document, where this will be created by the business guys, the business analyst, not by the developer. Developer is not involved here. So this tells me that, let's say for this is a table, particular party table, and let's say for a particular column like birth date. All right, now I have birth date. You can see all these are different source systems. You can see that there are 37 source systems total, and AUCG, AUCS, AAUOL, all these are source systems, BDD. So if I you can see the trust is 90. If it's from this source system, it's 30. So less trust if it's from this and all that. So this document will be created based on what I explained. And then the developer will be responsible for translating that and configuring the same thing what you're seeing here, like in front of you. So that thing, the developer will be responsible. All right. Now what we'll do is we will go through one more thing. See, there is one more ORS which contains a very small model. So I think it will be a bit more clear when I go through this. All right. Now whatever example you're seeing here, prepaid database, postpaid database, internet database, right? So the same thing, what I've done is, this is an environment ORS_demo where I am trying to replicate the same thing that you are seeing here. So we'll see technically how would, let's say this requirement, what I see in front of my screen, how would I implement this requirement? See, the logic is simple. I already told you it's about the matching process, merge. And before that, actually, we need to load the data. So load it, match it, merge it. And then finally, you have the unique version of the truth, right? So let's see that. I'll show you some of the things that we discussed so that you can easily correlate and understand. Okay, so already data is there. So since data is already loaded, I earlier loaded it, I would need to remove that. And to remove this, we have to use a feature called as SIF. So I'm not sure if you have heard of it or not, but you will see this data. So using this feature, we have to delete the data, because you can't delete directly. You can't go and delete it. So what I'm doing currently, you don't need to understand that. Just understand this thing, that I'm using a API to delete or truncate data from a particular table. So a table that's called as a base object, and base object is something that will store the master data, right?
Sunil, is this metadata or the data you're talking about?
I'm talking about data. I'm deleting the data, not metadata. Metadata, I would not directly deal with metadata. I mean, Informatica will deal with the metadata management and creation.
Okay, so a developer like any point of time would not be
Will not
managing that.
be responsible for creation or management. That's correct. So developer will never be responsible for creation of management, creation and management. Developer will only be responsible for the data. And talking about the what do you say, this metadata, there are a lot of there will be a lot of important information. For example, if I go here, you will see that this is called as the metadata table, and you will see you will get a lot of information here. So sometimes you need to go here and check and access these tables directly. But anyway, that's still unofficial, in the sense like Informatica even does not suggest that you directly go and check this. But some tables will give you a lot of information. But that's only read only. I mean, it's just read only, not supposed to change anything. Except there are some tables, like there are some tables, C repos, SSA population, some tables are there where you need to change, but mostly you don't need to do anything. Okay, but this table that I'm showing you, this is my master data. Okay, and you can see here this customer is already loaded here. So John Smith, John K. Smith. Now if I want to delete the permanent data, it's like you have written something using permanent marker on your laptop or something, and to delete that you would need a spirit. So this is my spirit. Using that I am doing it, and if I run it, then you see here data will be gone. So this feature is called as SIF, Services Integration Framework. This is called as SIF API. You might have heard of this in job requirements, that SIF, knowledge on SIF and all those. This is nothing but SIF as a web service.
So quick question.
Yeah.
So you're using Pop UI, right?
Yeah.
So okay, why do, like when you're saying deleting those records, right? So
Right.
why don't we delete directly from the database using the delete command?
You can't delete directly from the database because it deletes data from 13 tables. 1, 2, 3, You see this 4, 5, 6, you can count on. You will see all these tables. So deleting data from 14 tables, if you want to do that, then you can do it. So, but you have to delete it carefully. So delete data, truncate data from these tables, plus it also touches system tables. So if you can do that carefully, if you know this ID and all that, you can do it, because Informatica
So
also does the same thing.
all these tables are on the same schema?
Yeah, same schema.
Okay, so so do we need to have, so you said SIF, right? So do we need to have a knowledge on SOAP UI? Because you use
Yes.
the SOAP UI.
Yes,
Huh?
you need to have knowledge, but now, no, not necessary. I will teach you that.
Okay, so okay, for an MDM developer, you need to have a SOAP UI knowledge, you're saying, right?
Yes, you need to have knowledge on SOAP PBI.
Because we're gonna delete this way.
Yes, this is the only way to delete data from in the new version.
Okay.
In the older version, it was a different thing, but in new version, this is the only way.
Maybe one more thing.
Yeah.
So this clean AI we use only for BO tables or staging landing tables also we can use.
Which one? For deleting data?
Clean,
Yeah, for
clean API.
clean API. Clean table API is normally used only for the base object. It's not used for the staging tables. The reason is staging table, it's a truncate load table, and landing table also, it's a processing table. So there's no point of removing, deleting data from a temporary table. You can directly go ahead and delete
Okay.
it.
Okay. So we have some VXR tables or a VCT table or
That,
all those are
yeah,
BO
that is a
or
part of the
staging.
base object. So VCT VXR, that's a part of the base object. You will see this table here, VCT
Yeah,
VXR.
okay.
So that is part of the base object, not the staging table.
Okay. So only full truncate we apply for this, or suppose like we want to delete only some parties.
Yeah,
So
if
is
you
that
want to
possible to?
delete only some parties, then you have to, there's a different API, execute batch delete. That is this API. So using execute batch delete, using this API, you need to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. For those who have no idea on SOAP UI, that's normal. I mean, it's normal because that's expected. You should not have much idea also. I'm just joking. So if you don't know anything about this thing, that's okay. This is the most simplest thing you will see. Looks like a big thing, but this is a very simple thing. You can learn in 2 minutes. It's not a big deal at all. And I'll tell you when I'm covering SIF, I'll tell you that. Right. But now you will see that data is gone. And if I check data here in my landing table, so just assume that this table is my source, or you can say this is actually a table. This contains my source data. You can see that I have one record from prepaid, and that is John. I have one record from postpaid, and that's John Smith. One from internet, that's John K. Smith. So I have 3 records, right? Same as this example. And address, what I've done is address, I have made it similar, not same. So you can see HNO101 Texas, HNO101A Texas, HNO101B Texas. So I have 3 different addresses, similar but different, and phone numbers are different. So some details can be same, can be different. So that's what I'm trying to say, right? And here the name you can see. Okay, now first thing what I'll do is I will move this data to my load that's called as a load job, stage load. There are many things, but we'll just talk on high level, not deeper. So I will run something that's called as my load job that will move data from, yeah, 1 second. Okay, so you will see this later, what is called as a process server. I will explain later, but as of now just understand that I have not configured the process server, so it's failing. Once I configure, it will work fine. Okay, so this is done. Now you will see that this is my most important table. This is called as a base object, and here it is. So I have moved the data, and you can see that initially I have simply loaded the records. So I have John, John Smith, John K. Smith. Now I will do something that is called as matching, match and merge. So once I do match and merge, you will see that Informatica will identify that these three records are duplicates, and then it will merge them to create the unique version of truth. And that will happen when I run something called as the match and merge job. So this is my match and merge job. So once I run this, still processing, done. Now if I go and check this here, so you can see here that earlier this was 4. The consolidation indicator of 3 records was 4. 4 means duplicates, new records, and now it is 1. And you can see here that I have only 1 record. The 2 other records, they are removed, gone, kicked off, or you can say that's called as a merge process. But I would like to see the duplicates. So I want to see the duplicates. I want to know that this thing happened correctly. So I can still see the duplicates, but not on that table, but something called as a cross-reference table. This table is called as a cross-reference table. That's a brother table or supporting table of the main base object. And if you check this here, then you can see the duplicates here. So you see John, John Smith, John K. Smith. All right. Now you see that all of them are linked to this guy. So if you check this here, this is my party table. So you see row ID object 2. So you see that all these 3 records are pointing to this guy. So they are, it's like you would have seen a like engagement ring, something where you have diamonds like all over it. So it's like the same thing. That's called as a 360-degree angle of the customer. So this is called as, this joining is called as 360-degree angle. It means that if a customer is there in 50 databases, 50, then you would have seen 50 entries here. And this is like your ring, and this is like your finger, this is like your ring. So it's just like key ring. So this is what is the most important thing. Using this, you will understand that, okay, this guy, so this guy is, the best name of this guy is John K. Smith, but he's present as this in prepaid, and he's present as this detail in postpaid, and he's present as John K. Smith or something in internet database, right? So that's what is the process of the thing. And how did the matching happen? The matching happened on something that I've configured, that's called as a match rule. So I've configured a very simple match rule which says that the person name, the gender, the F1 ID should be should match for 2 guys. Then I will, if it matches, I consider them as duplicates, otherwise not, or otherwise it's unique. Right.
Okay, can I ask one question? Like, so you are saying that at least one column should be matched in all 3 records, right?
No, I did not say at least one column. I never said that. I said based on this rule, it's not as simple as what I'm explaining. I'm saying that all of them should match or some based on what rule you're using. So based on this particular rule, in this rule, person name must match, must be identical. These 2 less priority. If you use a different algorithm, then that logic will change. Okay. So you can give the, what I'm trying to say indirectly in plain English, if I have to explain, in plain English, I have an option where I can say that put more focus on the name, or I have an option where I can say that, okay, put more focus on the address, or put more focus on the name plus the phone number combination. So that's nothing but choosing a particular algorithm. For example, if you choose a contact, then more importance will be given on the contact. Address means more on address. Organization means on your organization name. Right? Different strategies, different things we have, a lot of different configurations. That's what makes this software. Right.
So, quick question. So, on which basis we actually configure? Like, like you were saying person name, right? So, but that is the key thing, right? When you do the match and merge.
Right.
So, on which basis we determine how to match, how to choose those columns?
That will be based on, again, the input from the business. How the business wants. I'm getting a lot of noise. Yeah, that's based on the input from the business, and then you need to execute. Like, the business will clearly tell you that what they are expecting. They want, if they are saying that the addresses is more trustworthy, you go with the address strategy more. And if they're saying the person names are more, then you go with that. And that you need to find out based on the trustworthiness of your data. That will vary from company to company. But normally person name is the most widely used upfront strategy because that's quite versatile. But that's no way a restriction.
Okay, so basically we actually coordinate with business analysts or whoever actually recognizes data more input, right?
Right.
Okay. Thanks.
Right. Okay, and then if you have to understand this mechanism of trust, let's see the mechanism of trust. So I said something about trust. The best value survives, and the best value is see here. So let's compare this. Let me shorten this, pull it up. Yeah, right. Okay, so the survivor is John K. Smith, and if I check the cross-reference, then you see that John K. Smith, and it's coming from internet. You can see INT. So you can see that the John K. Smith was taken from internet database. Why? Let's check the trust configuration. If I go and check the trust configuration on the name, right? On the name, just see the maximum thing. You can neglect admin because admin is used for a special purpose. So normally it's not used. It's used for manual overrides, which you will learn later. So normally this is not used. Okay, this is only used for manual. So internet is 90, 80, 70. So of course the survivor should be from internet. So that's correct. John K. Smith is from the internet. So this is correct. Now the second thing, just check addresses. For address, the survivor should be postpaid because it's 90, right? So address and postpaid. What is this ad? You see here, HNO101A, HNO101A. So the survivor is this. And if you check the third one, phone number, the survivor should be prepaid. So phone number prepaid, this one. So that's correct. 99999 So this is the survivor.
So basically what you're saying is like each sources, even different fields can be, I mean, like some of the fields can be trustworthy from some sources, right? But you have to consolidate different fields from different sources to make it trustworthy.
Right. So you have this control, I mean this trust mechanism, it works on a granular level, and that's nothing but the column level. So you can configure something on a column level. So you can say that for name, you can configure different logic. For address name, you can configure different logic, because that's correct. Because why is it necessary? It's necessary. Reason, you will see that some source systems will have some data that is trustworthy and some data that is junk. So this mechanism makes sure that you keep the best. If I give you 3 apples, then you check the score and you eat the best one. So that's the same logic here. But it doesn't mean that if a guy has given you apple oranges, you will eat all apple oranges. You will check the scores and you will eat. So that's the same logic here. Right.
So basically keep the best value or the field value from different sources.
Right, best value from different sources. That's what is the creation of the master record.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's what is the main definition of MDM, and once this data is created, then this data is
So,
published. Yeah.
how
Yeah,
the other fields will populate? So we could trust on only a name, address, and the DOB. The whatever the other fields, how they populate.
other populate, yeah, other things is, for example, let's say gender. So for gender, I'm not using any trust. So if I'm not using trust, it will be basically be random or the latest record. So in this case, it is more of a random for gender because trust is not enabled, or sometimes this will be based on the last update date. But anyway, it's something that you can't guarantee. It means that I can't say that, okay, the survivor will always be male, female, or what it is. So it can be anything. So if trust is not there. But normally it will be the latest update from the source.
Okay. So it applies for all the remaining fields, whatever.
Yeah,
So we can't guarantee.
if trust is not enabled, for whichever columns trust is not enabled, it's the same logic. That's no care. I mean, it really does not matter if it's male coming from here, here, here.
Okay.
Okay, that's what is the definition of MDM, and finally the data whatever we are creating here will be published to that. So that detail we'll see in the architecture session, not today. So today's session is as a different purpose, right? So now what I'll do is, since it is time, what I will do is I will just show you. I'll give a bit clarification on this training program so that there is no doubt on the different things. Objective of this session is, this is the objective, to make you to bring you to a level so that you can work as a 3 years experience Informatica MDM developer, not 3 years experience person. You might have 15 years experience, so but 3 years on Informatica MDM. And if you want to work, or let's say you have 10 years experience something like that, and so you want to show like 5 or more than that something, that's fine. But anything more than 3 means that you need to focus a bit on advanced topics. Advanced in the sense, for example, like the SIF. Yeah, you have any doubt? Okay, no doubt. Okay, so on the SIF side, I will explain that what is basic, what is advanced when I go through the course content, but some focus you need to put on the advanced side. Yes, Neha, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. One second. Okay, now, so that's the first thing. Second thing is the prerequisite. The only prerequisite that I'm putting is SQL. 1 minute. Okay. So the only prerequisite is basically the only prerequisite is only SQL, and that I will say that actually that is also not a prerequisite, but if you have knowledge, it helps you in some sense. So accordingly, I have put as prerequisite, and Java is a prerequisite if you are in this range, otherwise not. So if you are in greater than 4 or 5 years something, then that becomes a prerequisite. And if I say prerequisite, then do you have to be advanced Java developer, Springs, Hibernate, those kind of things? No, not necessary. So you just need very basics. That's the core Java, very basic. Why? Because you don't need any graphical, applet, servlet, server programming, nothing. That's a waste of time, because the only reason why we need Java here is for customization, and that also on the new version. So since we are on the latest version that is there in the market, now this version, um, for this version you would need Java for customization. So anyway, so for Java already I have tutorials in my Google Drive. I'll share the tutorials, the video tutorials and audio tutorials, a lot of things are there. So you can go through these tutorials. You don't need to take a separate session for that, because that's not necessary. At max, spend 2-3 hours. That's more than enough. And on the versioning part, like, so the version is the current most latest version that is there is 10.1, and so you can see here that's 10.1. I'll be training on this 10.1 version, and you will see that still a lot of people are there in old version like 9.6, 9.5, 9.1. So I will tell you the difference between the versions, and let's talk about, let's say, particular feature. Let's say user exit. So user exit in new version, it has to be implemented using Java. So something like this, a program like this, you would need to create something like this. Okay, but in older version you would have to do this using CMX UE. Now that's how it is done in the old technology, or you can say the old software, like 901. That's quite old. You can also see the date here, 4-5 years old. So in the old method you have to do, but it's important that you learn both, because sometimes you have to work on old, right? Or you need to work on the migration, or even if you don't have to work, for at least from interview point of view. And the course contents and the assignments, I'll quickly go through that. Course contents. See, the course contents is completely into 16 topics, 16 different topics we have, basic, advanced. First 8 topics are, that's nothing but the basic part. Basic does not mean that you can learn it in one day or it's very, very easy something. No, basic means that's the core part. That's the most important part. You can't neglect it. You can neglect the advanced topics, that's okay, not the basic part. And talking about the advanced part, people with more than 3 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they need to concentrate more on this part. And this one is in Java, so this concept is completely new. So this is the same thing that I was showing, this program, so that we have to do it using here. Then log files, and then hierarchy manager, slightly confusing, hierarchy manager, but important. SAM is related to administration, not much with development. And then SIF, something that we discussed. Actually SIF is quite an exhaustive topic. You will see that there will be separate, in your company, like when you start working, you will see dedicated resources for SIF, because it's necessary, because it's quite exhaustive, because you can see that there are almost like 100 different APIs. So understanding, mastering, working on 100 different APIs, you have to be expert on just this topic. So, but anyway, I will tell you 20 different SIF APIs, and that is more than enough. If you practice a bit, then that's more than enough. And IDD is equally important, especially nowadays. IDD is very important. So we'll cover all the things that are there in IDD. Message queues is important for the admin guys, not much for the developer, but we'll see that. And some of the admin topics, like this to our admin. This one is anyway developer responsibility only. Scheduling of the jobs and installation of this software. How do you do that? What are the steps and all that? This thing is something that I will provide you. And then creation of the ORS and all those things. We'll see that. That's the course content. And the assignment.
What is the full form of ORS?
Operational reference store. It's a repository.
Okay.
Then this is the day-wise structure, topic-wise. So on the topics, like topic-wise, I have covered I have broken it down, and some are 2 hours, some are 1 hour. Every day we'll have session for 1 hour to 75 minutes. And
Sunil, sorry
yeah,
to interrupt.
no problem.
So, since you will be giving the training on 10.1, so are you going to cover active VOS concepts as well?
Yeah, ActiveViews, I'll tell you how you integrate it, how it works. But if you're asking like completely on ActiveViews, no, because ActiveViews is a completely different software. In Informatica MDM, we need to understand how ActiveViews is integrated with MDM and what is the role of ActiveViews, why it is used and how it is used.
Okay, and so during the hands-on sessions, so are you going to cover some exercises which uses active views?
ActiveViews is not installed in my server. The reason is I have done it earlier, but it slows down the complete thing. There are a lot of bugs in ActiveViews.
Okay. Okay, that's one thing. And the second thing is, are you going to cover the installation part of the hub server or the clean server?
Installation part is something that I've already made it online. So I've already put the videos online. So I'll give you the link. I have divided it into 4 different parts. So you can go through that. So that that's a complete tutorial on the installation part.
No, means tutorial is fine or the videos are fine. What I was interested in this course, are you going to cover the installation part, that is the hands-on part of installing Informatica MDM? Will that be covered?
No, not covered, because I'll not give you the software, I'll give you the access.
Okay. So in case say for myself, I want to also learn the installation part. So what do I need to do? Should I opt for another course?
No, installation part, if you're looking, then you can contact me offline. I'll give you an older version of the software so you can practice in your machine, or you can practice like the installation of the older version. It's pretty much same as the new one.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, so these are the things, and then the topic wise things, so the assignments and all that on every day. And a lot of things are there, like this is something that we'll be covering, like the data model, then the live case study of a telecom and a financial system. This I have considered US European both. So this one is a European based telecom sector, and this is actually based on my earlier project what I've done, and this one also. And then the different configuration, then the mapping rules. So ETL guys will be familiar with what is called as a mapping rule. So but this is slightly different from the ETL, because here we talk about data quality more, not on transformation but on data quality stuff. And then the match sheet, like we were talking about the matching. I talked about something called as a match rule. So this is called as a match rule. If the name, address name, date of birth, gender matches for 2 guys, 2 records, consider that as a match. And the business requirement will be like this, that the business will tell you that, okay, you need to give less weightage to date of birth and gender and more weightage to name and address name. So based on that, you're going to choose that particular matching strategy. So this matching strategy you need to choose based on this document what the business is giving, and the different combination. Based on that, you need to choose this option, which you will learn later how to choose this. Okay, right. And then different case studies are there, like a lot of case studies are there that we'll see. And case studies, materials, PDF. So many PDF materials are there, that is different book materials are there, as you can see here. And older documentation also I'm giving, so for some people. And plus the most important document is the lab guide for 10.1. So that's quite useful. 10.1 multi-domain edition lab guide is quite useful for someone who is looking for a quickly learns this thing. very easily you can, very quickly I would say, you can understand what is this. But the problem is a lot of things are not covered in this lab guide. So but that's okay, that's fine, because I'll cover that anyway later. But anyway, I'll not be following this lab guide. This is something that I'll give you for just reference, so you can use it yourself to learn. Because this is a different style. This one is from Informatica. I have a different style. So anyway, same only, different slightly. And yes, videos, you will be getting different PPT materials, like this 6 PPT materials are there. For example, you can see like this is a PPT material. This is also very good. So this is also excellent, but I will not be going through this because my training strategy is slightly different, where we focus more on practicals and labs instead of going through PPT slide and explaining that this is this definition. I don't like, I mean, anyway, whenever it's necessary, I will still refer that. Because the reason why I'm not going through, I'll not be going through this PPT is because this is self-explanatory. So, but you are expected to go through this before attending the session so that you can get the maximum benefit.
You will have this for each session?
Which one?
This PPT?
The PPT covers all the topics. So I'll tell you from which page number to which page number you need to attend. Like you need to go through.
Before each session we need to go through one PPT?
Yeah, not one PPT. So for example, PPT 1, this one, this is something that is there 4 or 5 classes. It's there here.
Oh.
And this one contains, this one is quite big. You can see it's almost like 80 different pages. And each page is again like, you will see, consists of a lot of examples and all those things.
But you will also show with examples, right, when you're teaching?
Yeah, I will show with my example, not this, so that you can learn this example plus my example so that you can learn better. That's always better, right? Because if I take this example, then it's just again copy paste logic.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, and different interview questions and all those things. If you are planning for that, then that's useful. So like interview questions, many questions are there. Normally the interview questions will be similar, will be simple only, until unless if you are applying for a senior developer role, then there will be more questions on CIF and on IDD user exits. Otherwise it's quite simple only interviews. And yeah, project also, we'll see the project. There are many projects are there. And this one also contains the data as well. So I mean, this one is actually from Informatica only. This one contains the data. So if you want to run with huge volume of data, then this is also useful. Like you can see here. So also contains the data. You can also create your data. I'll provide my sample data, or you can also take this data. That's, if you want to learn, you can use all these 3 methods. Then the tool access. Tool access will be via VPN. So there is something called as Hamachi. This is normally used for gaming. So normally we use it for gaming, but this is quite good for as a VPN because quite secure plus very fast. Like I would say ultra fast. I've never seen something like that. So it's installed in a remote server, and for example, this file, you can see it's a 3 KB file, right? And what it does is it downloads the software from this server. So if I double click it, then right now it's downloading from this particular server. You can see here this one, and say run. So I'm accessing the software from the server. So don't assume that I've installed this in my machine. No, I have not installed in my machine, because my system will crash if I do that, because you see that I have 16 GB machine. I can extend that to 32 GB, but still in personal computers, the software does not work. It will work for 1 day. After that, you will see that it will either hang the machine or it will stop. So this works on a dedicated machine. Servers with dual core processors, I mean dual processors, or more than 2 or 8 processors, something like that.
How long we'll have the server access?
Server access you can have up to 6 months. And then you just open it like this, then you can see here that, so you can access the tool. But the thing is, you will not feel much difference. If your internet speed is okay, anything like 1 Mbps or more, then you will feel as if it's installed in your local machine, because you can see here that, because I have experience in performance tuning, so that's why I have done the tuning for this. But you will see that in most of the projects it will be damn slow. So you can check with your friends also. For people who are working with MDM projects, you can ask them how fast is the tool. It will be quite slow. So performance tuning also I'll tell you, but not in the beginning, in the end of the class, because to understand performance tuning you should have knowledge on everything about MDM, right? So you can see that it's, a lot of people like try to convince me or say that it'll be slow since it will be from the server. It will not be slow. See, it hardly takes 1 minute or 30 seconds also, you can say. Then it opens.
Maybe we should try it once and then we will know how it works.
No, you can, yeah, you can also do that. But yeah, you want to try? I'm not sure, because I need to configure the access and all that. Yeah, doesn't matter. I mean, like, you can check out, that's fine. Right. You have any questions or anything on this, you can ask.
One quick question. So, if you are an Informatica developer, you have experience in Power Center workflow. Does that help a lot while using MDM?
Yeah, helpful, but it's not a prerequisite. But yes, helpful, of course.
So you can actually learn MDM pretty fast if you have a Power Center knowledge.
Yeah, that's correct. Not completely fast, but yes, it helps in mappings and in cleansing logic, which you are already familiar. If you're familiar with data quality stuff a bit, then that's you can learn it very fast. If you have knowledge on ETL just, then it'll help, but still a lot of concept will be new.
Okay, thanks.
You will also explain about master data concept?
I have just explained today about master data, right?
Okay, maybe I missed the initial class.
No,
And
today
you said
was the initial session where today I explained about the master data, right? This is what is the example of the master data. I mean, what I explained.
oh, okay.
This first record that's nothing but the master data, and I explain how it's created.
Yeah, when you told this, I logged in late, so sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I think I'll finish. I'm planning to finish the session. If you have any questions or so, you can ask. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yes, so are you gonna send us the email regarding the lab guide and the course materials that you were saying that you will be sharing with us?
Yeah, you you send an email. You contact the person from whom you got the link. Once he confirms, then I'll send you that.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay, right. Okay. Okay, thanks guys. Tomorrow the same time we'll have the session. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Tomorrow will be first session.
Yeah, same time.
So
Do you need to go through any information?
As of now, that's okay, because tomorrow it's okay, not a problem. You can still understand.
Sure.
so quick. So like, do you? What was your schedule? I actually just didn't. I just joined today. So like, do you follow Monday to Friday? What was the schedule?
6 days a week. So except my Sunday, that's Saturday in US, we'll have session all the days.
Oh, so Sunday here in US also you will have a session?
Yeah, we'll have session.
So every day except Saturday, you're saying, right?
Every day except Saturday. Correct.
And same time, 1 hour?
Same time, 1 hour to 1 hour 75 minutes. I mean 1 hour to 75 minutes.
Okay. So what about if we miss something on like
Everything is
Sunday?
recorded. Everything is recorded. So you can go
Oh.
to the recorded session, or if you want to attend a later session, you can do that.
Oh, we can retrieve the recorded, right? And if we have questions, then we can just email you some, right?
Right. So everything is recorded. For example, you can see that all the things are recorded, and all the materials, everything will be there in the Google Drive. So this is, you can see the recorded sessions.
Mhm.
So that I'll share.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that like, okay, then we can make up if we miss also something.
Yes, if you miss, that's not a problem, because you can always go through the recorded sessions.
So totally, how many sessions are there for this?
Totally 27 something.
Oh, wow, okay.
25 to 27. Depends upon the doubts. If it's more doubts, 2-3 more sessions, otherwise less.
Okay. That covers both basic and advanced concepts, right?
Yeah, basic and advanced both.
Okay.
Basic will be 60%, advanced will be 40% of the duration.
Okay. Can you send the course content, or will they be able to send the course content?
Yeah, you can contact them. They'll send you the course content.
All right. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So when we do the VPN, is it very secure, right? Like, I mean, like, we're not sharing our screen though. We're not we're not using like a team viewer or something, right? We're not sharing our IP though, right?
You can check Hamachi. So you can check logme Hamachi from software in online. It's not my VPN. It's VPN from them, and this is the most biggest private player like Citrix for VPN.
So you're saying it's pretty much secure though.
Yeah, you can. This is a $1 billion company that is providing service. So you, like, I don't understand why you are like doubting on the security, because I'll just show you.
Which one is a $1 billion company? Hamachi?
Yeah. This is not a small company. It's a very huge company that provides VPN service. I'm using their service. So it's on them.
Okay. So okay, that means it's pretty secured. Okay. I mean, I'm just curious, you know, like, because your VPN, you'll be accessing certain other servers, so I just want to make sure, you know.
No problem. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely. I'll be in touch with the one who actually sent the link, and then we'll go through go through all the other doubts I have or other course materials I need, you know.
Right.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Sunil, one question. So is the link the same for all the classes?
Yeah, it'll change later, but as of now, it's same only.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
One last question, Sunil.
Yeah. Tell me.
Are you currently working on MDM, or
Working. Yeah.
what is your? Okay. So you have experience mainly with Informatica, or only with MDM?
MDM. Informatica means you are saying Power Center or
Right.
IDQ.
Right. Yeah.
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 On Power Center,
Power
I
Center.
have 4 or 5 years something roughly.
Okay. 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 And since then you moved into MDM, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What about the IDQ? Like, do you also offer IDQ courses?
No, IDQ I used to offer, but not now because I don't have time for that. But yeah, you first learn MDM, then you can go for IDQ. You should not go for parallelly both, because both are actually different slightly, are similar,
Very
but
different,
it's
yeah.
again full-fledged
That's true.
courses.
IDQ and MDM are very different.
Yeah, they're different. So unnecessarily it will be a huge burden. Okay, right, guys. Then we'll meet tomorrow because it's already late. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.